It is Photowalk Bonsai. Today we're on a photo outing with the Canon EF 70 to 210mm f4. Use top right touch and drag out of focus for some birds. It's actually bright enough that my darkened glasses work with the viewfinder, which isn't always the case. Would like to see some birds, but I think it might not be a good time for that. This thing has junky autofocus, but it works. This lens was made between 1987 and 1990, according to Wikipedia. It's the AFD version, macro to infinity. You can set that on the switch, and then of course manual focus. With these lenses, I like trying stuff out that's lower cost, used, to see what I can get out of it. In this case, I was using the Canon EOS M50, the Viltrox EF EOS M2 0.71x speed booster, so definitely a different situation there. Getting more of the imaging circle from this lens with speed booster compared to a standard adapter. This is a good one. Some type of perch for birds. Let's see if there's anything in there. It looks like there's something in there. It's definitely a bright day, looks like. I'm looking at this months later after I had recorded the video. In these situations, just looking for anything that is somewhat interesting to take a photo of. Back then, it was definitely pretty decent with the conditions of, there's a lot of plants and bugs and everything interesting to check out. I'd moved to another area. In this case, definitely the zoom lens helped out. Contrast is not great on this lens, clearly. It could be partly due to the speed booster, but yeah. I did edit these photos somewhat, try to increase the contrast and everything else. You can see clearly some situations it's not going to handle too well. I don't have a hood on this lens. I was on a walking path. It's great photo op because they have a lot of flowered plants there. Color, bees, insects, lots of little creatures to take photos of. This lens is good for that because you can get relatively close. This lens has 0.24x magnification on it. Decent for a lens like this. Focusing is pretty accurate as far as I can tell, but still very clunky. It does work well considering it's being adapted to a camera that's many years younger than it. Close focusing distance is 3.9 foot. I'm pretty happy with the results here. I mean, expecting a huge amount from an old film mirror lens on a digital camera with 24 megapixels, so a good amount of resolution on there. I think it's a decent result, especially considering the speed booster adds its own little optical defects. Although in this situation with the speed booster, you're probably getting a better visual quality with it on because it's compressing some of the flaws of the lens, into the APS-C sized sensor area instead of taking basically a crop of the lens if I didn't use a speed booster. So I think in this situation, it does benefit the old film mirror glass. Fun, enjoyable lens to use. I would not suggest using it for anything besides just casual hobby use. But if you want something lower cost, fun to mess around with, a lens like this might be a good option. Anyways, I'm Photowalk Bonsai. I hope you enjoyed this photo walk with the 70-210mm f4 Canon EF lens on the Canon EOS M50 with the Viltrox 0.71x speed booster. Thanks.